Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and welcome to Guild Wars 2. Now, for first looks, this is one of those that's a bit of an odd one, because not only is it an MMO, but it's a game that I actually did part of a Let's Play of ages ago. Many of you probably will not even remember that this happened, because this was back in 2016, I think? God, almost 9 years ago now. It's crazy to think about, but yeah, I had a Let's Play I did with a character named Cora Ferris. This was back in the super early days of my channel when I was still figuring out that arcane sorcery known as balancing my audio, so often the game was quite overpowering compared to me. And I'm just mentioning this in particular because I know there are some people who have some feelings about this one way or another, but actually I am playing on the original standalone client, not the Steam version. I own Guild Wars 2 on both. I still need to buy a couple of the expansions on the standalone, because that's really where I prefer to play, for no other reason really than blind nostalgia. But yeah, I've been playing Guild Wars 2 on and off for about 9 years now. It's wild to think about. Yeah, this is my first MMO, but at the time, I didn't really know what an MMO is, believe it or not. Yeah, that's right. Even though I was doing a full, massive, and ongoing Let's Play of Star Wars The Old Republic at the time, I did not know what an MMO was. Somehow I managed that. Anyways, both of these characters are fairly new, and unfortunately for me, my original character from that Let's Play, Cora Ferris, has been lost to the mists of time. Otherwise known as I came back and no longer knew how to play, so I deleted my character. With plans to start a brand new Let's Play, and never did. I want to do a fresh start at a Guild Wars 2 playthrough eventually, but this is not it. I just want to sort of hop in and show you guys around. And I have two characters right now. I'm actually gonna throw us in there with Ophelia Miyoshi here. And the reason I'm choosing her is because my other character is in the middle of doing story things, because Marius is currently doing his Chapter 2 of his personal story, which is an interesting thing we won't get into here. And Ophelia has just finished the tutorial, which I won't give details because spoilers, etc, etc, but essentially when you load into the game, there's a sort of tutorial battle against some centaurs and stuff, and you go through a whole scripted thing. And I've just finished that with Ophelia. Because, and I did this just because I heard you could, there's actually a way to skip the majority of it just by running straight to where the final battle of that sequence takes place. If you're just trying to speed through things and can't be bothered, which I did on this occasion. Anyways, I wanted to show off what the questing looks like in Guild Wars 2 and leveling up, for the most part, because I know a lot of people find the leveling system kind of annoying and they don't like it, which I always found kind of bizarre. I thought it was a pretty cool and quite unique system, honestly. So, Guild Wars 2 quests are these hearts where you go into the area and it immediately gives you objectives. You can talk to the people giving the quest if you want to get some more flavor or fluff or anything, but you don't have to. You can just start doing the tasks. and they automatically turn in once you're done, so you do not have to talk to the people to turn in your quest. And here our objective is to help Dia with the farm. There's a couple of different things we can do. First of all, we have to tend to the corn, which there's a limited amount of it, and mostly I just hit the interact button and that does the corn tending, which is nice because it's fairly hands-off. That's one thing you can do. Other than that, there are worm mounds here, which contain some enemies. You stomp on these, the enemies pop up, and you kill them, essentially. And that will gain you some progress. You also entertain the cows. But there's a limit to the cow entertainment, because you can only do that, I think, once per cow. Also, and this is only relevant for my particular character, it's probably worth mentioning that I am playing as a thief for this one, which is a pretty unique class. Most of them operate under cooldowns, so there's a certain amount of time you have to wait to use your abilities and such. What? Weird is going on here, God. And hello, event. Okay, that happened. I will explain it in a second, but yeah, for some reason my controls were locking up there. Must have been a little bug. It did not want me to move until I managed to get another attack off for some strange reason. Anyways, events in general, they're sort of like quests, but a lot more big and special. And stuff.
Is it just me, or am I amazing?
So, there's general events you can do by yourself, and then there's the big world events that you generally want a group for. So, with us completing that quest, I have leveled up. And that gives us some reward, including a leather bag. So, bags, you can have a limited number of them, and you can buy more slots for bags in the cash shop, but really, I never found it was necessary to actually spend money. That's one thing that I know some people will worry about. Oh, do you have to spend money to actually progress in Guild Wars 2? No, you don't. Also, there is a system in place. Once you get to the end game, and you're able to start earning large quantities of cash. Once you reach that stage, there's a system in place where you can convert gold into the premium currency. And you make a decent amount of it when you get to the late game and you're able to start obtaining and selling valuable items. So that's something else to bear in mind. There is now a big mega boss over here, the Orchard Spider, to kill. This is like a mini world boss, I guess. When I was mentioning events earlier, I mentioned this. We're gonna take the bow. To get back to what I was saying, I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned something called a world boss. Effectively, gigantic bosses that you can pick up and fight. But you generally, if you want to survive a fight, then it's in your best interest to take a group into that fight and not try to handle it solo. Harpy flock, yeah. We want to be dealing with this now.
Time to do some
For that event. I couldn't tell you the precise numbers off the top of my head, but one of the things that's present in the Adventurer's Guide is that I have to participate in a certain number of events. I think it goes up to 10 total, but the first stage is about 5. So I want to be clearing out these harpies in pursuit of that goal. Like, seriously. If I had to pick one game, and I could only play that game ever again for the rest of my life, well, for one thing, I'd hate you for having to make me choose. But, after I'd narrowed it down to, like, 10 or so options, I'm almost positive that Guild Wars 2 would be on that 10. That's how much I like this game. There's also sometimes a event that spawns up here where a bunch of bandits will attack and try to destroy the pipe system. I've never had it succeed, so I don't know if it actually physically destroys anything in your instance of the world. But NPC-related events can actually have some impact on the world. Obviously temporary impact, because things have to stay dynamic for it to be a reasonably reasonable MMO. It's a good thing I'm going over here. I have one that I have to revive someone who's been down, which it can sometimes be tricky to find people to revive, but that area out here is basically where all the fighting between the centaurs and the human garrisons is going on, so you'll find a lot of downed Seraph soldiers out there. If you need to revive someone, that is, generally speaking, the place to go for it. And that mail we got, only wondering about, that's to do with the main quest there. I'm not going to read it, but it's basically, you will get that every 10 levels, because the way that the plot and generally characters work when it comes to Divinity sorry, Divinity, Guild Wars 2. The way plot and characters work is you will go 10 levels,
Weapons hidden down in that armor. You sure use them.
then the next section of the plot will unlock, and you'll unlock some plot basically every 10 levels. That's how it will function for about the
Shaymore Garrison is all that stops the Centaur
about
from
the
reaching Divinity's
first
reach. We Seraph bleed and sweat every day to keep it that
80
way.
levels.
Constant combat.
Is what will happen there. First 80 levels, you will get one bit of main story every 10 levels. That stops after you finish the storyline of the base game, though. The personal story. I don't know what you call it. Essentially, when you finally hit the living world, you just unlock stuff
I know.
all at once,
167.
You keep track?
and you can do it all in order, then no need to stop. Because the level cap is, and has remained ever since this game released, level 80. Guild Wars 2 has never once raised the game's level cap. Which I really kind of like, because I'm not going to log back in and find that I'm like 100 levels behind because they added 5 more expansions, because I was away so long. Or something. And I really do appreciate that. Anyways, I can add an alternative weapon now. So, I'll give myself a short bow as my alt weapon. I don't know that I'll actually use a bow as the alt, but bow is the only alt weapon I can see really working for. Or a thief, honestly. Admittedly, though, I did think about a crossbow for a little bit, but we don't got one of them. The story demands that we head to Divinity's Reach, the capital city of the humans in this game. So we're gonna head on in. And it's an entirely new zone, in addition to Shaymore. One of these days, I'm going to fully uncover one of these maps. Apparently you get some sort of experience bonus. Is there something for fully exploring a map and finishing all the things on it? Okay, we have items that don't have stats selected. I'll deal with that later. Anyways, I think that'll do it for now. I feel like this is a pretty good look at the early game and how things generally play out when you start. Generally, how the leveling up process works from 10 to 80. Granted, some of the higher levels do take a little longer to achieve, but generally the effectiveness, I find, of the adventure guide is just the same from 60 to 80 as it is from from level 1 to level 30 or so, which is pretty damned effective. And honestly, in my first ever playthrough, if I hadn't managed to not discover the existence of the Adventurer's Guide until quite far into my own playthrough. I think I wouldn't have developed such a bad impression of things in general. And honestly, I'll probably hop in later down the line, or just bring my Necromancer in and show you some of the endgame stuff for a separate video. But I feel like that sort of thing deserves a video of its own, honestly. It really does. But it's been Dark Phoenix Gaming, and this is me revisiting Guild Wars 2. After about 9 years. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you again for whatever video I decide to put out next. Also, as an aside, if you'd like me to do a full revisit and actually do another Let's Play of Guild Wars 2 here on the channel, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.